because we need to talk about it. A lot of things going on in the street, across the nation. I need to get your opinion. Let me know what's going on where you are. Please share with us, your brothers and sisters who might be watching this. If you got any inside information of where we need to be going, what's the next step, what this is going to lead to, what is it that we're asking for. As a black nation, I see a lot of other people are getting involved, want to be a part of this, and it's obvious because they have a stake in it. Don't think that these are all angels just doing this for one man. What we're talking about now is our country, and it's not going to be what it was before. It's going to be something new. The president just declared war on us, the people. You need to know that. He got up there in front of the White House with the flag behind him and called us all terrorists. So you need to keep in mind the people that are out there in the street talking about what's going on. They start to come to a realization that this is not just a war on black people, but in the end, let's call it what it is. It's going to be a class war. It's a class war. And look who's starting to feel it now. Once America cuts off the faucet, says no more money, stay in your house, and we're going to send you $1,000. Somebody call me. 323-425-6184. And this ain't nothing new. We've seen this movie before. It's just now coming to the top. The devil done took his mask off. You need to recognize who the devil is. The devil is a liar. That's what the devil do. He lies, he cheats, and he steals. Every day for the past 4 years, we've seen this dude in the government White House come to the microphone and lie about everything. He ain't never grabbed no pussy. He ain't never had nobody in his administration pay off a woman to cover it up. He has nothing to do with Russia. It's all fake news. Look, turn on TV. Is this fake news? Do you see fake news right now? Ain't nothing fake about what's going on in the street. I want to hear from you, wherever you are. Look here. This thing started 400 years ago, and it's just coming to a head. You see these people out in the street, what they see is that $60 billion has just been made by Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg. Where the fuck is that money? We down here just trying to keep it together. You think this is about one man. I got to start sharing this. Somebody talk to me. Please excuse me. I'm so sorry. I can only share after I go live. Just give me 1 second. Damn. Please excuse me. I had to share after I go live. Let's get it, man. This is what it is. You tell people to sit in their house for 2 months. You cut off the faucet. You cannot work. You cannot get money. 40 million people apply for unemployment. We've seen this movie before. When you kill a man on national TV and bring attention to it, and you have all these people come out, when are we going to start getting protection? We're not talking about just one man now. What about the other 4 people that were killed this month? Well, now it's the first. Breonna Taylor, Aubrey, Sean Reed in Indianapolis. Have they forgot about him? I'm watching the boy live stream and getting shot and killed live. They haven't even mentioned his name. You know why? It's their word against ours. They said he had a gun, but they don't have body cams. They've been running the play on us for the past 100 years. Ever since policing became a ghetto thing. So now you see white people standing by us with the sign, Black Lives Matter. We are not complicit in creating our conditions. That comes from the United States government itself and these racist institutions that they have put on us. When we need to ask for something, this is an election year, and we need to come up with an agenda. There's some pretty good ones out there, but I'm pretty sure that if I look at the agenda for the black community in the 80s and compare it with what Biden just released 3 weeks ago, I'm not going to see much of a difference. What are we asking for? $2 trillion in stimulus that they have not passed. It did not get approved. This has to be an economic thing. He just declared war on people, calling us terrorists for protesting. Said we will be charged to the highest extent of the law. That's because his friends are lobbyists for the industrial prison complex. He's got to keep his cronies happy. What do you think black people are? We're still a commodity. We've been a commodity since 1619. Now it's 2020, 1 year off of 400. We out of 400 years. This is the year after. It's time for a new way of thinking. We have to move forward, and we have to know what we're asking for. And it has to be about money. We need a stimulus in our community. Trust me. If we knew who these store owners were, our neighbors, if Miss Jackson owned Ralph's, if Mr. Thomas owned the liquor store, they would not be getting burnt. Do you see what's getting burnt? Corporations with locations. They don't franchise these places, but yet they're going to throw it on TV and make it seem like we really doing something wrong. What they running up in? The shoe store, the Gap, tried to get Gucci. CVS. Do they franchise these stores? No. Nobody out your community is making money off these stores. These are corporations with locations. The money is concentrated. It goes to the top. Then what do they do with it? What happened to the days of mom and pops? Why the fuck we out here burning shit down? We don't know these people. We don't know our neighbors. This is the 100-year anniversary of the Tulsa riot, when you came and burned down our communities, our black businesses, killed us, lynched us. 100 years to a week. And now we're getting some retribution. We in the streets. They need to have a sign say, remember Tulsa. You talking about one man. It's bigger than this. Somebody call in. I can't talk forever. I got plenty of opinions. But I need to hear from you. See, they got us divided. I'm just one man sitting here watching TV. Are you doing the same thing? Let me know. Because we have to organize. We have to put it together. We need an agenda, and we definitely need a leader to follow. Look, do you see all these soldiers out here? Soldiers. Fuck about police. Rubber bullets, tear gas, they out there. Where is our orders? The national government just declared war on us. We need generals. Don't talk to me about no gangbanging. You've been doing that forever, right? Where has it gotten us? We builders. We built the goddamn pyramids. We need to build something here. They took everything from us. Everything. And now, we are starting to feel like we are one. Humanity. Because he cut off the faucet. That's where you fucked up. It's capitalism, right? That's the game. You cannot cut off the faucet. Everybody wants to come out because they tired of seeing black people. What are you protecting? What are you protecting? You put your knee on my throat because you're protecting something. What are you keeping from me? What is it that you don't want me to have? And that's what these white people see. That's what we all see. It can't keep going on and on and on and on. And now you're talking shit to China? So everything is supposed to get more expensive now? I ain't getting no money. My funds is limited. And you saying, fuck you, China. We cutting you off. Look. Okay. Then you need to educate us on manufacturing. How to make stuff here. How to make things cheap. And still pay us. Can you work a system like that? No. Because it's all about you in the old world thinking. Yo, this is my country, right? I love America to death. I have no choice but to say that. But I am a stolen African. And we as a people, we have to reconnect with where we came from. Because all the assets and all the love is there. We talking about love now. These people don't love us. And you got to a point where you don't love each other. You need to learn who you are, where you come from. Look, man, I'm not trying to, this don't turn into something else. Somebody please call me. Tell me what you know, what you think. What are we going to do? What's the next step? Because this, you know what, and I'm going to put this out there, right? When the COVID-19 hit, people were sharing all these pictures of tanks and ATVs and all, military trucks being transported on a train. That was 2 months ago. This just started happening last week. False flag? Maybe. We're talking about one man, right? No. We're talking about 5 black people murdered. But why was we seeing all this military movement 2 months ago when COVID-19 hit? I mean, somebody tell me something, right? Now he's talking about martial law. We all going to be prosecuted. We got curfews. Our First Amendment right to protest is being suspended. And we ain't having it. We ain't having it. As you can see, people out in the streets, we ain't having it. So what's with the president? What we going to do? Because, see, We come to a point where we need economic justice. You know, we're talking about police justice, criminal justice, but we need economic justice. When you say Black Lives Matter, throw us some bread. Straight up and down. You can keep screaming that shit all you want. But if they don't love us, they ain't going to protect us. We can protect ourselves. You change some of these laws. You keep slapping felonies on us. How are we supposed to have the Second Amendment constitutional right to carry a firearm? And you keep slapping felonies. Come on, man. Somebody talk to me. Let me know. It can't be done. Then you want to take away our vote because we got felonies. Please tell me how this works. The officer that was just arrested, Derek Chauvin, he shot a brother, went in his apartment, beat him up, and shot him. When can a black person do that and not be a felon? Still carry a firearm. He didn't even get suspended, written up, nothing. He got paid administrative leave. They gave him his gun back and sent him back into our community. He does not live in the community. Read about him. They got pressures on him. How do you kill people in our community? He killed 2 men. He was implicated in killing 2 people. 3 people in a car accident when he was high-speed chasing. But this one brother, 2008, ran up in his apartment, beat his ass in his bathroom, and shot him in the stomach saying he was trying to take his gun. The motherfucker was trying to defend himself. What would you do? But he ain't no felon. We felons. When we get down like that, right? This is not an equal country. Somebody talk to me, man. Don't be scared. I'm trying to have a conversation. And I'm going to be doing this forever. This is We Are One News. Broadcasting live, Lamert Park, Crenshaw, Baldwin. Wherever you are in the world. What do you want out of this? What you asking for? Because you want the next generation to be going through the same thing. Our kids is out there breaking into stores. They don't give a fuck about no policies, no bills being passed. This is up to us, adults, leaders. You have to let me know. And it can't be me over here saying it's going to be this way and you over there saying it's going to be this way. We got to put our minds together and know exactly how we're going to move forward. You have to change your way of thinking. Let me tell you, did you see after Trump made his announcement and declared war on us? I don't know if you noticed or not, but the first thing he grabbed was the Bible. 101 tactics, right? Since 1492, when they sailed the ocean blue. They came looking for slaves, and they said they was coming to spread the word of God. So what now? You know, we know for a fact that all these years that we've been here on this planet, with 1,000 viruses in us right now, one just ain't just going to mutate out of nowhere and just start taking over. SARS came out earlier. You already found out it was a animal disease. And then you got this lady talking about a bat in a cave close to Wuhan because she went and tested the bats and said she found the SARS there. They gave it gain of function in North Carolina. Took it back to China and released it, and now they weaponizing it. They telling us to stay in the house, and you see the results of that. People not having it. You can't cut off the money and keep taking our money and not giving it back. You want to see justice? Let me tell you something. I own my own home. I pay a bank note. I pay the bank. Ain't nobody should spend the money to the bank. First of all, about 70% of that is interest. Only 30% is principal. Ain't nobody say I got to stop paying interest. That's money that just goes up to the top. For what? And people across the nation are doing that. These institutions, they taking our money and calling it interest. For nothing. And they not giving it back. Black man, what do you want to do in your community? You want to start something? Go to the bank and tell them you want some money. You got to already have money. You got to already have an asset. What do you think most of these people in the streets is doing? Because all their assets have been stressed out with these housing markets. But it's generational. What do we have? What do we have? They asked the young black brother, why you running up in the store? Tennis shoes. He said, because I'm broke. They think we joking. Isn't that a shame? He said, don't do what I did. It's the wrong way. But I was broke, and I wanted some shoes. A lot of people watching this on their TV, they don't understand that. And they call us criminals. And the president called us terrorists. Y'all got billions and trillions of dollars. Y'all the terrorists. And you took it from us, the people. And let's not talk about how you got that money. And you trying to keep it from us by putting your knee in our neck. Look at what the officer did and ask yourself, what are they trying to protect? What are they trying to secure? They want to keep us in our place. Our place of what? Yes, we are one. You see these white folk coming out because they have a stake in it. If all the black people wasn't here, they would turn on themselves. Facts. Facts. Somebody got to be the demon. Somebody got to be demonized. This phone ain't ringing. I mean, look, I'm not a preacher. And if I am, I'm going to start passing the hat. What I can do is point out facts, man. The truth. They came over here looking for slaves, man. The Europeans. And he talking about Hong Kong, saying, fuck them. We cutting them off. Do you realize that they just lowered the British flag in Hong Kong in 1990s? That's like 30-something years ago. Not even that long. They just lowered the British flag. Do you understand what that means? Colonization? They was holding somebody else's country as theirs, as a protectorate, draining it of all its assets. And all of a sudden, they're going to sign agreements, pacts, and deals and move out, but still got a hold on the economy. Call in. Verify it. Look it up. The British just lowered their flag. Now China's saying, fuck y'all. This our shit. And what does he say? Oh, we ain't doing no more trade with them. Look, they supposed to buy $100 billion worth of stuff from America, and they fell short this quarter. Only 11. And most of it is what? Soy. Soy. What just happened in the Amazon? The Amazon was on fire. Why? Because they want to start growing soy. What happens when that market dries up? They ain't buying from us no more. People are being strategic around this president, and they making moves. And who's going to pay up in the end? Who's it going to cost? These people you see on your screen behind me. Yeah. Everything costs more now. And you ain't going to learn how to manufacture these things. This is a talk show. So now look, we can go over some headlines, or we could talk about what we want. What we want for our babies, what we want for ourselves. People need to look into this and come together. They say cut out the head off the snake, but where is the head? Who is our head? Everybody watching this right now, you got to be a soldier. As long as you've been here and you on your personal social media right now and you seeing what's going on, if you got the desire inside you and you want to be a part of this, that makes you a soldier. Okay? Do you have a stake in this? Then we waiting for our orders. Who is our leader? Who's going to step up and take us across the bridge? Selma. Them days is not over, man. It's happening right now. Things is not going to go back to the way they were. It cannot be the same unless you're going to start giving some economic justice and freedom to the people at the bottom. At the bottom. Because look, what you're teaching us is hate. You can't blame these white people that hate black people. It's a tradition. It's taught. They got the same education system we got. They learned this. They learned this from day one. How to hate. Because they got something to protect. We want to keep our communities clean. We want to keep our communities drug-free. We want to keep our communities with no crime. And if you look at the stats, ain't none of that true. They dropping like flies off the drugs. They don't like using guns, even though they got a house full of them. All the stabbings and chokings and everything happen in their community. You cannot stop crime, and you cannot stop poverty. You can't eradicate it. What you can do is alleviate the people to be leaders. Where's our leaders? Our leaders saying vote. Right now, I'm seeing our leaders in the street. You see this brother right here talking, leading the movement. But right now, we got to organize. How are we moving past this? Because he said he's sending in the military. We don't have a military. The question is, do we need one? Because we're going to fall. Now, at this point, if we're going to fall, we all going to fall together. That's what it looks like. Are these people going to disappear when Trump sends them people in? No. They standing there, too, because the government cut off the faucet. No more money? Oh, we with the black people. We with the black people. We standing right here. Listen to this brother.
And pay a little bit of money, and nothing happens to it. And then us, if we can't afford bail, we lose our job, we lose our house, we lose our car, everything, because we can't get out of jail with $500 where they can pay $1 million and go home. But that's what it's about. We want to be equal. We want to be treated like the rich people are treated. There's all these cases. There's hundreds of them. And they're trying to say one name all over the country. Trying to say one name, one name. It's not one name. There's thousands and thousands of cases. And that's what we're here about. It's the whole...
Thank you for your time. Alton Strope with the Courier-Journal.
Did he say anything that I didn't say? It's time. I mean, it's going down right now as we speak. And what are you going to do? You think things is going to be the same? You going to keep drinking, smoking, sitting up in the house, watching, Love and Hip Hop season ended. Can't do that. You need to talk to your people. Get to know people. Where's the love? How can we love the person next to us? Realize we in this together. Reconnect with what is fundamental. Our institutions, we have to build them from the bottom. The curriculum cannot be state-run anymore. What are we going to teach the babies? How many of you guys know who you are, who you really are, except taking the culture of the people that enslaved us? You want to be Christian. You want to be rich. You want to have a house in a nice neighborhood. Is that really your culture? You don't know anything about where you have come from. If you did, trust me, you be out there right now talking about this is all fucked up. Straight up and down. I know y'all as warriors. I'm not doing this for my health. And I'm not doing this because I'm the smartest man in the world. I'm doing it because I want to be educated. Let me tell you something. When I was driving my daughter to school every day, I would turn on the radio and I would just hear this bullshit and this garbage about sipping and smoking and popping it and dropping low. And my daughter's sitting right next to me, and I can't believe this shit is on the fucking radio. And I'm like, I want to be fed, and ain't nobody feeding me. One day I went to go see the Raider game at my boy house, turn on the radio. They got all kind of white stations. The Patriot, talking about all these good things that the president is doing. I listened to it for like 10 minutes, turn the station, another one. The Vietnamese, the Koreans, the Spanish, Hispanic, Mexican, they all got talk radio shows. We had nothing. Nothing. I could not get fed. Nobody's talking about our issues. When I turn on the radio in the morning, they making prank calls. They talking about what celebrities is fucking who. Nothing about how these people are going to pay rent next month. Who is putting these celebrities in our face? Who runs these companies? Who writes the message? Who approves the messaging that they giving to our kids? And you wonder why they out there running up in these places trying to look good, but ain't got nothing to eat. Because the message is get money. What are you going to do with a 14-bedroom house? I don't see too many scary movies. I'm not under the influence that that's what I want. What I want is what I want for my brother. What I want is what I want for my sister. What I want is what I want for my neighbor. How can I be balling out of control and they can't eat? Getting killed in the street with a knee on their neck. Don't worry about what the news is telling you. These stores is going to get licked. Okay? They've been taking money from us for decades. They got locations. They don't franchise them. Subway is franchised. McDonald's is franchised. CVS is a pharmaceutical company that's getting stupid money out their pharmacy division. Where does that money? Do you think they care about the store? The store is a front. The store is a front for pharmaceuticals. All that money comes from these old people, and they need their medication, and they charging these high-ass prices to the insurance companies. Don't talk to me about us running up in no goddamn CVS, Walgreens, Target pharmacy. Where are the neighborhood pharmacies? You know how hard it is to get a pharmacy license, but they'll let you sell some crack. Now they'll let you sell some weed. Let's talk about basic institutions, mom and pop stores. Where did they go? We would not be burning down these stores if we knew the owners and respected them as an institution in our community, doing something for our community. Who are these people in our community? We give them money. What do? They jump in their car and they hit the freeway and they go to their house somewhere outside of where we live and put that money in the bank. And you wonder why shit looks the way it looks. But we go in there happily every day, drop bread in their pocket. Oh, thank you, sir. It's got to stop. We got to bring it back to our community. This is what we got to ask for. We got to ask for institutional economic freedom. We need our money. You've been holding our money too long. We've been working. How did you get it? From us. All these highways, byways. I love a country highway. I love a country highway. Bugs, trees, all that shit. Who do you think built them? Who put them bridges together? Who put this country together? Where did it start? You talking about infrastructure? They had to move product. Who grew the product? Who picked the product? Somebody call me. Man, somebody call. I can't keep going on forever, just a show with myself. You see the number. The number's posted. Give me some insight. What move are we making? Are we going to talk about this, or are we going to let them talk for us? Because if we don't talk to each other, they trust me. They going to do the talking for us. They going to come up with the next bill the next policy for us, or they're going to pay off some Negro to sell us out. Why not? They're going to put some black dude in front of us and say, give him a ton of money to say, look, just be cool. We got this. We got a conviction. Is that what y'all want, a conviction? Is that what this is about? Is this about a conviction? Fam, this nation is not going to be the same. It's already changing. These white folk would not be out there if they didn't have a stake in this. They have a stake in this. This is about all the money going to the top. That's it. That's all. You want to see justice? That's what it's about. The justice is our fair share. They've been demonizing social welfare, what do they call it? Socialist policies. They demonize it, putting all their money into the military to try and hold on to what they got. And we see it on the lower level, a knee in our back. You don't need to see planes, tanks, submarines. Look, you see an officer with a knee in a brother's throat. That is military. That is, we are protecting what we got from you. You can't have none. Stay your ass in your spot. Play your position. You want to know why these white folks is out there with Black Lives Matter? Because they know they next. They see where the money going. This is capitalism. Nothing more, nothing less. And it's been that way. That's what this country is founded on. You talking about America, you talking about capitalism. Period, point blank. They came here for a better life, economic freedom. Now we want ours. They ain't trying to give it to us. You see what happens. They cut off the faucet. No money. Sit in the house. What the fuck? No money. This dude talking about he want his money and we gotta get out. Oh, but he can't evict us this month. And you gonna play with us month to month? Oh, well, you ain't gotta pay this month. But in August, you gonna owe 3 months. Who are they playing with? It's a consolidation. Concentrated wealth. Raping us. Why are these people in the street? Talking about George Floyd. Yeah, George Floyd. George Floyd was a symbol. He was a martyr of what this is. Of what this is. He was a martyr of what this is. You can't have none. Stay in your place. Look, y'all ain't gonna call? Y'all ain't gonna talk to me? How we gonna organize? I gotta come up with another format. I mean, I'm sure you don't want to hear me just going all night about how the injustice is going on. We need solutions. We need solutions. And we need to teach the babies. So we need to talk about trade. Are we gonna build something? Do we know how to build something? Can we build? And where are we gonna build it? Are we gonna build it here, the black nation? Are we gonna build it here, the black nation? Are we gonna build with Africa, the homeland? Are we gonna reconnect? Are we going to start relationships? They invited us back last year. How many of y'all went? How many of y'all heard? They don't love us. We need to start thinking about where the love is. You need to start loving yourself. Knowing who you are. Knowledge of self, son. That's what the gods say. And knowing who God is. You don't need nobody to tell you who God is. You was born with an innate ability to know who God is. How can you not know who God is? You don't feel him? You need somebody to point you in the right direction. When times get hard, we all need somebody to lean on. but you can always talk to God. But you can't really do nothing in this life alone. It's not built like that. Man needs woman, woman needs man, kid needs parents, right? Community needs leaders. We need a voice as one, organized, unified. Stop listening to mainstream. They only giving you the agenda, the narrative. That's what this is about, so we can talk to each other. I need to talk to my brother because I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's coming next. I don't have a handle on all that. I could read the tea leaves, but I'm not all across the country. Huh? What's happening where you at? 323-425-6184. And we're going to be doing this all the way up to the election. It's a party. It's a party, y'all. Best believe. Because this is the year. And how did it even turn out like this? How did it just happen to fall on an election year? This man done fucked up the whole country. Look, the country is in the toilet. And he wants to, what's the first thing he going to do? Blame somebody else. You want to blame China for this? Oh. Do you want to blame China for this? Is this Wuhan? Is this the Wuhan riot? Hey, I don't know, man. They probably on Fox News calling this the Wuhan riot. And look, I got to call them white people because the platform I'm on, I really got to watch what I say. But the people that watch that show, they probably will believe that. This is the Wuhan riot, and it's Chinese fault. You know what I'm saying? It's the Chinese fault. I'm looking at, look, if you look at the screens behind me, I seen like 2 black people. What? We gonna let them take this over? No, because it's not about, it is about, but it is transforming into what it should have been a long time ago, which is class warfare. It's here. We at war, it's a class war. The class war has began. Now, how are they gonna spread the dough? You wanna protect us? Because they're gonna keep killing us. Believe that. Where's our economic justice? Give us the money that we can build with our kids and our communities instead of these, what they talking about. I don't know about your local station. My local station is talking about immigrant businesses in the community. They running up in immigrant businesses in the fam. They don't live around the way. You take your money in the store. Thank you, sir. They get it. They chain up the door. They jump in their car. They hit the highway and put the money in the bank in their community. And you wonder why your neighborhood looks the way it looks all these years. Because you paying the shit out of these people and they taking that money somewhere else. But you're going to do it again tomorrow. Yes, you are. You're going to keep giving them your money, and they're going to keep putting it in the bank somewhere that ain't got nothing to do with your neighborhood, your kids. What are they talking about? Tax dollars to build the school, right? All that, our schools is failing because of the tax money, the tax revenue. Huh. These rapacious banks, man. If you ain't got no money, no income, and you got to pay interest on your home loan, who you think is going to take that back? And then we paying landlords that we never see in community. We need to have bills passed to protect us and protect us from the knee in our neck. The knee in our neck is for economic justice, man. You can't have none of this. That's what they saying. Pass a bill, bring the money back down here where we are. It cannot end with a conviction and nobody asking for no help in our communities. No bricks to build a building. I'm running out here, man. Look, I'm watching what you watching. Call. Tell me something. What we gonna do? What's the next move? Look, the youngster giving it up, cripping in Louisville. In Louisville, right? You know what I'm saying? Young brother, that's what we've exported. State to state, city to city. That's what we exported. That's the message. That's the message we giving to the youth. Bang your hood. Hey, man, look. Ain't nothing about how to build, man. You know what I'm saying? Science, math. What? It's too hard. You can't even watch a YouTube video on quantum physics. The name itself scares the shit out of you. Because you never had anybody that looked like you in that field breaking it down for you to make it simple. Who do you see look like you in that field? What field are your brothers and sisters in your community? Straight up. Go ahead. How you doing, man? What's your name? Where you from, man?
Man, this is Ozzy, Los Angeles, California.
Man, what's up, Oz? How you doing, man?
What's up, homie? What's good? Who is this?
It's Avery James, brother.
Hey, what's up, homie?
What's up? That's what I'm trying to figure out, man. I mean, I see what's going on, but I'm like, what's next, man?
Man, what we need to do, man, is simply, I mean, motherfuckers don't want to hear it, but it's about time to start fighting, bro. Run these people up out of our neighborhoods, for starters.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it begins. You know, get them about the hood.
You think you can get everybody on the same page?
Opinion.
Okay, so the strength is in numbers. You think you can get everybody on the same page?
And I mean, after this chain of events, why not? I don't see why not. I mean, sorry, brother.
Go ahead.
Why wouldn't we be able to? I mean, the people are sick of this shit, man. We're tired of this. People are ready. People are ready to fight. And also, at the end of the day, that's what it's going to take, bro. It's going to take us fighting, bro. They're not going to hand us anything, man. Nothing's going to be handed to us. You know.
Yeah.
We tried being peaceful. We tried to be, non-violent, whatever. Them days are done, man. It's time to fight. It's time to start running these motherfuckers about the hood. Period. All these foreign businesses, fuck them.
I mean, look, I don't mind people coming here. I mean, that's basically what the country was built on. Immigrants coming here looking for a better life to get some money. But you know what? Our country, you got to understand from our perspective, black people, I'm talking about the black community. You sold us out to an immigrant looking for a better life. You know,
right.
these visas that they give are economic visas where they can get loans to start a cash business in a black neighborhood. Right?
Take our money.
Yeah, exactly. And do what with it? Take it out of our community. And what are we left with?
Exactly.
And we wonder why we see the same thing every day looking crazy. Looking crazy. Why things ain't never changed. Since I was a kid, I can name any major thoroughfare in the black neighborhood since I was a kid, driving down there, and I ain't seen nothing change. Nothing. Let me go over here to Culver City.
Right.
West Side, they building buildings on La Cienega, 70 stories, new malls, housing.
Yep.
You know, they giving us
one stuck in time. We stuck in time. We stuck in it like we just can't progress, man. Because we not getting what's owed to us, man. We're not. We're gonna have to start taking it, bro.
I think that's the best way to do it. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. Like Republicans, like politicians, they got what's called a think tank, right? Now the think tank has lobbyists, so they lobby the government, right? They first of all they put together a strategy and an agenda, and they throw money to the politicians to say, "Hey, make this happen." It sounds like what you saying is do it without you know what I'm saying? We don't need, well, you know, we got local level officials. This is true. I know that. But we can get people, I mean, start like a community think tank. Okay, you live over here on 84th and Hooper. You know what I'm saying? Dude over here live on 32nd in Vermont. You know what I'm saying? You say you control your neighborhood or whatever. You from the hood. Let's just say that. Or you know what? They got community organizations in each community. This I do know. They do have community organizations. They all need to link.
Right.
Start strategizing. What do we need? You know, draw maps, logistics.
Because you can't, you best believe you can't go into, you know, Chinatown or whatnot and set up no business up in there. You can't do it. They're not going to allow that shit to happen, bro. They're not. You know what I mean? So we got to be the same way. Bottom line, we got to be the same fucking way.
Exactly. And
we can't keep being suckers.
I'm not trying to say that everybody is able and can, but we do have leaders, okay? There are people that can step forward.
Yeah.
And you got to come together with people that are on the same thinking and the same mind and say, look, let's put a plan together and then get everybody on board. People just got to see you doing it. Okay?
And that's basically what I've been up to, man. I've been looking for people, like-minded people, man, so I can put something together and actually do something instead of sitting around talking about it. Because I'm tired of talking, man. Seriously. Shit needs to get done. We need to make some moves, but I can't do it alone. I need to find people who are like me, you know, who feel like I feel, so we can actually make, you know, move some mountains, make something happen.
I hear you, man. Hey, well, where you located?
I hear you, bro.
So where you located? Like what area?
Right now, I'm in Fontana right now. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Kentucky.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah.
Empire.
You better watch your back. You better watch your back. Shit is real out there. Well, but I mean, from what I'm seeing on TV, though, you know what I mean? You can't demonize. You can't put all people all in the same group like they doing us. Black people are this way. This is what black people are. For a long time, we've been saying, you know, a lot of these Facebook groups I'm in and, you know, chat centers, you know, they say a lot of things, but you have to understand that everybody is not the same. And the education, the things that they were taught, you have to have, we are compassionate people. You know what I'm saying? And you got to understand, some people are can be compassionate and some people can't. And, you know, it has a lot to do with materialism and class. People that got money, they seem to have, like, no. Look, man, you can't keep sweeping everything under the rug. Do you see how many crazy people are on the street? I mean, like, everywhere I go now, you look around, and this is in white people. This is in white people's community.
Right.
Not just black communities.
Out here where I'm at.
They just out there. Like, dude, it's crazy as hell. And so what they do, they say, okay, well, we'll put some money into mental health. But they're using the county jails as a mental health facility. You can't keep sweeping this under the rug and letting them out in the street.
Yeah.
Because now you're talking about the homeless problem. Man, these people ain't got no sense. Half of them.
On top of being homeless, yeah. On top of being homeless, they crazy.
People got drug problems and can function. People got mental health. On top of that, they out in the street, and you know what I'm saying? You go down the street to go get a donut, you got to walk past these people, man.
Right.
I mean, and you're talking about crumbs. So they make a bill to give to mental health, but it's nothing. These people end back up on the streets. And this is what's happening with our society, man. This is how they treat people. But yeah, we need economic. This cannot be about a prosecution.
No, it can't be. No, it's bigger than that. It's more to it than that.
Let me take a call, brother. Thanks for calling in, man.
Absolutely, man. Nothing but love, respect.
One. Hello?
Oh, hey, Jason.
How you doing?
I thought this was the talk radio I was calling.
It is.
How the hell?
It is. This is We Are One Talk Radio for pretty much the next couple months till this election. so we could try and figure out what is going to change, because things is not going to go back to the same. They cut off the faucet. You can't tell people to go home, stay home, and cut off the faucet. This is a capitalistic country. It was based on that. You want to cut off the faucet on all these people, and then you wonder why they're in the streets. This is not about just one conviction. This is about
I can take it.
This is about money going straight to the top and nothing coming down to us just trying to make things work.
Well, we've talked about this before, and this has been in set since whatever the 70s with the cocaine plant epidemic, all the powers that be, like we discussed before. You know, and then black people getting sentenced 3 times as much time as I would for the same shit with the same background. You know, this like shit we talked about earlier. It's really bothersome that it just leads downhill from there. So then you've got independent household, single mother who depends on the funding and assistance and can't provide certain aspects to contribute to additional education. It's a shitstorm downhill for sure.
A state mandated education means a state mandated curriculum, meaning they want to teach you a certain agenda to get certain test scores to get funding for your school. Today, with what's happening, when you say fuck Hong Kong and everything, you know, when you cut off basically cheap goods, you're going to have to start bringing some of that home. People have been asking for it, but people really don't know what they've been asking for. Because now, how are you going to teach people to make cheap products and then still sell it at a cheap price at home? But you want to make the opportunity to start teaching people stuff. Here it is. The question is, how are you going to bring the manufacturing, keep us paid to do it, train us, and then sell it back to us at a cheap price? Something has to be figured out.
Well, I think the easy answer that's not easy to do is not to raise minimum wage, but to lower cost of living, because the greedy pardon my language, the greedy mindset from up above is continue to charge, but continue to give them less to live on. And that goes across the board. If you're not in the top 5%, it's the same shit. You're getting charged. You gotta pay to live more, and you're getting paid less to live with.
Absolutely.
So minimum wage is not the answer. We've seen that before in recent battles with the whole kiosk at McDonald's, for example. Like, well, I'm not going to hire 10 motherfuckers. I'm just going to get a kiosk and a manager and a tech. And what do you think about that? And so instead, they need to lower the cost of living. And, oh hell, baby, relax. So I really think that lowering the cost of living is the key, but greed is the most powerful destructive tool that there is. I believe greed is worse than, well, greed would probably be tied to the racist shit too. It's what I want when I want and how I want it. Same shit with some of my addict mentality. I want what I want when I want it.
It absolutely is tied into racism. When you see the man on the ground with a knee in his neck, you have to ask the question, what is it that you are securing? Because you're trying to protect something. That's why you got your knee in his throat. You're basically saying, we are here to protect something. And it's a piece of something that you cannot have. You need to stay in your position. That is basically the word. Now, they say a picture has 1,000 words. That's a 1,000-word picture right there. And that, you know, you turn on the TV and they talk so bad about these people. I don't know how long you've been listening, but these corporations that they're running up in, these shoe stores, these CVS's, these local chains, they have locations. These are not franchises. You mentioned McDonald's. McDonald's has an owner that franchised the business. That means it might be somebody in your community who's doing good for himself, might be putting money back into the community by doing exactly what you said, hiring people. So now it's fucked up. You want to get kiosks. But you have to understand, it's a franchise These places that are being these places that are being looted, they are big corporations and they have locations. Locations everywhere. The money goes straight to the top. It's not a Avery ownership. I don't own the Gap in the store. The Gap owns the Gap. So don't talk to me about these little crumbs that people taking out the stores. It's not been hurting anybody except the people that you were just referring to. Let's talk about franchising some of this stuff. You would have respect for the store if you know the owner. If you know Miss Johnson and that's her store, she knows your family, you're not running up in that store taking her shit.
Yeah, that's it. And I know that action needs to be taken for it to be the opposing action of making it, correcting the negatives need to be done. So peaceful protests don't get shit done over time. So they go to the next level. And so when I post a bunch of shit on Facebook, part of my issues is I see live videos of black folk or mom and pop stores pissed off screaming because they got looted and they don't have the rebuild insurance like some of these big places. And that's what pisses me off, whether it's this on and off looting, rioting shit, or if it's fucking me when I was a fucking tweaker back in the day, looking back on myself. You know, fucking 15 years ago. So I get pissed off at the whole thing, but not because it's directed at certain shit. I'm more pissed off right now about the looting and everything going on when I see pallets of bricks being dropped off in the mill randomly, like to incite, to help convert a protest into something more. And that pisses me off. And, you know, I mean, me and you, we talk on Messenger all the time. Like, I think you're as much of a factual conspiracy guy as much as I am. Sometimes we have different views, but we both know there's a bigger fucking picture here. I probably won't find out in my lifetime who's behind all of it, but I got a pretty good idea who's behind some of it on some of these aspects. And I'm all about fuck the World Health Organization, and I'm all about, I think probably most of the Chinese people are great people, but their government shit. And I've been saying it for years that we need to. So this is a capitalist free market, and anybody can go anywhere and make and sell their items. But if there was some way to require American companies to come back to America and build in America, you know, like, I'm sorry you're not going to profit $500 million this year. You're only going to profit $200 million this year so you can pay some fucking hardworking Americans to build your shit and sell it. Like that's where I'm at. I don't know how that's possible in the capitalistic world, but
it goes back to the beginning of your argument. They don't want to pay people. They don't want to pay people because they feel like they can't produce goods at a low rate, quality goods, and pay people. But if we're exporting to them the way they're exporting to us, what is the problem?
Right.
They say that financially they're growing as a giant, correct? China is growing as a giant. They have spending power. Why aren't we making things? And we're importing their steel that the president put into his building. I mean, he fails to mention some of the things that some of his practices in the past before he started changing his perspective on trade. And I mean, we got to figure out a way to. You're right, man, because we're talking about tax havens. Now, how do the 1% make billions in the last 2 months based on us being mandated to stay in the house? But at the same time, if you're paying on your mortgage and your interest is a certain percentage, they're not suspending that. You still got to pay the bank.
Yeah.
You still got to pay the bank.
My bank told me that if I needed a whatever it was called, that they would just put it on the back end. Some people are saying that, in 4 months you're gonna have to pay all 4 months. But so because of my work, my line of work, and where I'm at, I'm still working. Well, this last 2 days it was a mandatory stay at home because of safety reasons, unless of emergency. But that's a different story. During the whole COVID thing, I was out there doing what I got to do because fucking people need water. You know what I mean? Emergencies happen, and that's what we do. But I was told that if I needed to delay my mortgage, that they would just put it on the back end unless I could pay it on my own before then.
Not
A lot
everybody,
of people didn't have-
not everybody's getting that luxury. I didn't get that luxury. I'm paying. I own my home, and they did not give me any lenience. You know what I'm saying? They said you can apply to these programs. You know, they sent all kind of strange language. And you know what? It's like health insurance. They want you to read a 200-page book to understand the type of help that. Yeah, they make it really confusing. Why don't you send me one page? They can't do that. They can't do that. It has to be a whole bunch of financial jargon. And then in the end, you don't know what you're saying. And that's what happened in 2008 with the financial bubble. People didn't know what they were signing. But I'm glad your bank worked with you, man. I mean, you know, you got a pretty good bank. Mine, you know, it's funny. Mine was bought out by my bank. I was financed through Citi, and then some company came along and just bought all the mortgages. And it's like this happens all the time. People buying people's debt, and you know, I didn't ask for that. So now they on some you got to pay shit. So, you know, it's not a relationship with the bank that I initiated. You know, this is something I did not initiate. So, I mean, you know, deals are happening above our heads. Then it all falls into the conversation. Like, I didn't ask for that. These deals are happening above my head while I sleep. You know, policy, buyouts, things of that nature. And you wonder why these people are in the street. Man, you cut off the faucet. You cut off the faucet. I mean, I'm glad that people are holding the signs and coming out for this man. But it's going to take more than a conviction. We need a conviction. It really seems like they don't seem to understand that. You still got 3 other officers out there. And I hope they start to get the picture. But this is about to go beyond that because it's too late. And what you were saying about conspiracy, I think I shared with you that when the COVID first hit, you started to see the militarization movement of tanks and military vehicles on trains. This was 2 months before this riot. So it makes you think people sharing pictures of tanks on the move, on trains. Now all of a sudden, everything that you just said about pallets of bricks just laying in the middle of the street. I mean, and then the president goes and declares war on us. He calls us terrorists. So I don't know what's about to happen in the next week. You know, how they're going to move on the people who are demonstrating, but he already said he's going to move on the people. So basically, everything that we saw, all that movement that we saw, it must have been for a reason.
Well, there's 2 sides to that because I've got friends in the military, and I posted that video, and they told me to calm down, that is actually normal for transport when they have trainings and stuff at different bases. They usually just transport most of that shit at nighttime. And I went with it. I went with it partially, but not 100% because you know who I am. Yeah. And I like to think that some of what Trump says was based off of trying to stick a fire under the governor and the mayor's asses to put a kibosh on some of this shit because they're not, even if they understand that enough non-action has occurred, now severe action has to take place to be heard, that they still have to play their part and play their role. I'm this, and I need the American people to know that we're not going to stand for it. And honestly, I saw some people posting and talking about how they were at a peaceful protest and then there was rubber bullets and tear gas. And I'm like, I just don't buy it. There must have been more to it because
that was me yesterday. Yeah, just yesterday. I was at a peaceful protest in Santa Monica. I posted the peaceful part. But you know what? And before I went, I was watching TV and they're showing the looters that were on the promenade, the Santa Monica promenade. And I said, yo, I know there's more to it. I jumped on the train, went over there. The train wouldn't even go all the way. I had to ride my scooter all the way down. I get down there, peaceful protest right there on the beach. They divided the people, started shooting tear gas, went around the block, they're looting and rioting. So once the peaceful, and it's on videotape, I posted it. People was out there for say his name, George Floyd. This is an act of democracy. This is what democracy looks like. Chanting, kneeling, together. White, black, Persian. I didn't see too many Asian, but I mean, you know, it's a coalition. They're not trying to. you know, they woke up this morning and tried to, I think somebody got on them about it, and they said, oh, they're not covering this right. And then they spent all day covering the peaceful stuff. But it all comes back to what, and I think now that the president threw fuel on the fire, I think they're about to turn down the volume a little bit on showing how people are acting at night. But these are kids. We all used to be kids. Nobody gives a fuck about a pair of shoes and a couple T-shirts. I mean,
listen, this is what I look. It happens on the left and the right when these political people go out to general places and they start asking questions. Oh, who do you think said this, or this president said that, and then they go, actually, it was this other president. What do you think about that? And then they get all caught up in the choke, right? Because they don't like the quote attached to the person's name. But then when it's a different person that actually said it, they get all weird, right? What I would like, not that it's a safe way to do it, I would like some of these fucking looters to get stopped and questioned. Why are you out here? What are you out here for? I would like an educated response as to why are you really out here other than following the other fucking 10 people that are in front of you? That's what I want.
Look on my timeline.
You know what I'm saying?
I posted that. I posted
Okay.
One looter. I'm sorry, not a looter, a protester.
No.
And she was stopped. No, she was in the middle. She was in the middle of this was the night before last on Melrose, right? Yeah, when they were shooting Melrose and when they was just going ham. They grabbed this girl and they asked her, "What do you think about all this destruction?" And she spoke eloquently. If that's what you're looking for, I posted one. Not everybody's gonna be the same. Trust and believe.
I don't care. Listen, I'm not talking about educated talk or thug talk or uneducated, whatever I mean the looters at night. I don't mean the protesters who have a pretty good idea what they're doing there. I mean, stop some of these people at night that are doing the damage and ask them, why are you out here? Because I've seen other videos about these older cats and they're upset because they're seeing these 13, 14, and 15-year-old kids out there who are just following the older kids or
exactly.
young adults.
Yeah, they out there to turn up. That's no mystery. I mean, they're kids and they don't, they really haven't got a grasp of, half of them probably don't even know the dude's name. They're going to say Black Lives Matter. Well, whose life? I mean, this dude just died. Do you know his name? Man, look, I'm trying to get me some shoes. I'm trying to break into the dispensary. I mean, you got to understand, they see it's going down and they going, it's like a call to action. I mean, if you're not in the street breaking into shit, then come on, you already know, like, who are you? You know what I'm saying? What kind of weenie are you? And that's the way they look at it. You got to know what I'm talking about, man, being young. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
Yeah, you got this energy and you want to get out and so it's like a daytime, nighttime thing. But, I mean, it kind of bled into the daytime. What I'm really interested in is the D.C. protest in front of the White House. Now, that was when he said he was going to call the dogs. You can't make this up. When he said if they breach the fence, they're going to get the dogs and they're going to get all kind of hell. I was like, yo, this dude is really in a bunker. That's the way they reported it. I'm like, man, you can't be coming. It's serious now. If you're in front of the White House, it's something. This is something totally new.
Yeah, no, I can dig it, but that's where you need to be. Those are the places you need to be to make your point. Like, I'm not down with burning down buildings. I just don't like it. But if I was to give a thumbs up on it, it would be some cop cars and courthouse stuff, that sort of genre of facilities. But even the Target that's got fucking insurance, like, they don't have any, other than the greed at the top, they don't have any relevance or any hand tying to do with what happened with any of this. So, like the courthouse, cop buildings, cop cars, like that I kind of shrug my shoulders and go, well, at least that makes sense to me. Now, I'll be honest with you. This last dude with the knee on the neck, there's too much around this, man. Look, I'm not taking away from all the cop brutality, no matter what color you are, and the violent murders. But this one seems really weird because dude had his knee on his neck for over 8 minutes, like chilling.
Yeah, man.
Like the other cops weren't on the radio. I think I sent this to you. Like when I read this, and it was all legit. Like the other cops weren't on the radios calling for backup. They weren't. Like the cop car was right there. They didn't pick him up and throw him in the back. He was chilling. Like if it was a thing to do on his neck, something's weird. Like I know sometimes I go a little far with my aluminum hat, my tin hat, but I'm saying like I feel somewhere inside like this was a setup. Like and this is some fucking guy, and they're all gonna get relocated with new names and put in the Midwest to live the rest of their life, and they were paid to start this thing, because it wasn't like, not to downsize it, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like a cop shot a motherfucker and he didn't need to and he shouldn't have. He fucking was chilling on his neck for minutes, looking up, like damn near looking to play rock, paper, scissors with his partner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was just fucking eerie and weird, bro. And something really fucking eerie and weird going on with this particular case, man. I don't know if you feel what I'm saying.
I mean, I saw a dude die. I mean, you know, they I don't know about relocations and all that. And you know what? To tell the truth, when they did the police autopsy, talking about preconditions, you know what? I kind of felt like the people that came out the passenger side looked shady. And you know what I'm saying? You know our backgrounds, right? Where I'm coming from, where you coming from. So what I'm saying is that when what's the guy from played for the Spurs, the basketball player, when he came to speak, you know what I'm saying? I was reading between the lines. He was like, we all have problems. We all have a past. He came out here to change his life. And, you know, sometimes things don't work out the way it's planned. And I'm like, oh, okay. That's saying a lot, you know? And then, you know, you put on top of that, this guy, 3 people sitting on top of him, like asphyxiation. So you don't know what he's been doing all night before that. You don't know what he was doing before he was pulled out his car. You know what I'm saying? But you know, if there is any semblance of usage, he might have been partying all night. You don't know what he's just been putting his body through for the past week, couple days. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I'm saying, now you got this guy on top of you. So in all probable cause, what they're saying might not be too far-fetched about preconditions. But that has nothing to do with the fact that you got this man standing on top of you with a knee on your neck. So, you know, all that shit is out the window, no matter what he was doing with his life, what he was free to do, you know, free of to have his own choice to live his life the way that he want, has nothing to do with what happened to him by that police officer, which ended in his death.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So my last arrest, I tried to run from the cops, man, and I got tackled on Van Nuys Boulevard. I was tweaked out on my fucking mind. I was trying to make it to the apartments, you know, and this fucking cop, this old cat, he caught my ass, you know, and they knew my name because that's where I rolled. And they had their knee in my back, and 3 of them had their knee in my back, and I'm yelling at them, not knowing. I asked them when they let me up, how the fuck do you get 3 knees in my back? But I was only down there for a minute, maybe 2. I don't know. I'm fucking tweaked out.
Yeah.
Right. My point is, he was chilling with his knee in his neck, on the back of his neck, for a long time, and it just seems weird. You know, like even if it was 1 minute and the dude fucking died, there's still some answers that need to be addressed. But for 8 minutes, chilling, looking at the cameras, like, you know, looking to play pinochle or spades on the back of the fucking cop car. You know what I mean? Just so something was weird about it, like it was set up for this to happen.
You said it's all gonna come out in the wash, man. It is. It is.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's gonna happen in my lifetime. I'd love to be retired and hear about some of this shit in the wash in 25, 30 years, you know, and just go.
No, it ain't gonna take. It ain't gonna take that long. Not with all this, but I can guarantee you this: we got 3 or 4 more months left of this administration. Look, people, when this starts to die down, people are really gonna start to ask, what is it that we want for this country? You know, I mean, because it's not gonna be what it was. I mean, some people could say that it was working, but it's not working for everybody. And for some people that it is working, I mean, it's like barely. So you got to ask yourself, what I mean, it can work if people just work together to figure this out. And that's the only thing, man. It has to be people coming together, coming with an agenda and moving an agenda forward and acting on it. And that's the problem. That's the problem with all the division. People want to fall into this. Us, we, we versus them. And we need to make sure we get ours first. And it can't be like that. It can't be like that. And I think that's basically the page that most of these protesters are on, because they're starting to see that trickle down. That trickle down is not happening. Look at all the people he put in position. This Bessie Du Bois. That money was supposed to go to education. She sends it to private institutions. A lot of these private institutions already had billion-dollar endowments. Why are you sending millions to Harvard and Princeton? They had to send it back. Like, are you serious? We got billion-dollar endowments. We're good. Oh, okay. All right, just making sure. And then Betsy DeBose, 2 weeks later, she wants to send it to all the private institutions in, I forgot the district that she's from. What is that, Michigan? So, yeah, I mean, sure. But this is not how you organize the country. Put in the interest of the whole country, the people that need it, the people that don't need it. You have to have key positions filled where people can figure this out. Hey, man, I want to thank you for calling in, man. I'm probably going to jet. You know what I mean?
Hey, well, it was great talking to you, bro. It's been a long fucking time.
Yeah, this is a seed, and hopefully it'll grow. You know what I mean? I'm trying to do a little something because we're all stuck in the house. We're all watching the same thing, and it's just time that we start to network and just get our issues out and stop letting them lead, because they're leading. They're leading. They're telling us, we're watching them, and don't think it's not programming. You can't tell me it's not. You know what I'm saying? They come out with the lead stories, and then some stories just don't make it. You know what I mean? And me, like, trying to be a newsman, I'm reading, like, all kind of stuff that, I mean, look, Let me take this call, man. Thanks for calling, man.
Much love, brother. Take care.
Much love. Hello?
Are you still on?
Yeah, how you doing? Who's calling? Where you from?
Don't act like you don't know who this is.
I don't know who this is. Who is this?
This is Mika.
Oh, Mika, my co-host. What's up?
Hey, you
How
doing
come
a
you're
great
not?
job out there?
How come you're not in the studio? How come you're not in the studio putting it down for our people, blessing them with the wisdom and the knowledge of the ancient pyramids?
Well, here's the thing, right? Unfortunately, I work for the government, so I can't be caught out here past curfew. I got to think better because I still got to put food in my kid's mouth.
I understand.
until we get out of this situation that we're in. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And once we get out that situation, then you know. So right now I need my job to fund the different businesses and stuff that I got trying to run. So that's my goal right there.
So you've been listening?
Huh?
So you've been listening to any of the spill?
Yeah. I kind of had a phone call in the middle, but I wanted to address the homeless population thing that you were talking about and the mental illness.
Yeah.
One, I wanted to say that, most of those people out there on our LA streets, I don't know about everywhere else, but California has the highest population of homelessness right now in the United States.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people are doing, because California, we give governmental assistance to single people. Most states don't give government assistance like that, like cash aid. So we give cash aid and everything. So what the other states are doing, they're taking their people, the homeless people, and dropping them off downtown. I know that Nevada, they just
dropping them off downtown.
Yeah,
Wow.
I know that Nevada they
That
closed down a
you just said it
mental
all.
health facility. Yeah, they closed down a mental health facility and put them all in the bus and dropped their bus. And half those people, most of the people from downtown, they not from here. They not from here.
Wow.
So that's one thing I wanted to discuss. Also, I remember like a couple of months ago, before the corona stuff happened, I was catching a train back and forth, and I was doing that so my kids could have transportation back and forth to school, because I went to work. The time I went to work and the time they went to school was conflicting. So I caught the bus and the train, and I'm getting on the train, and it was a dude. I didn't say nothing to the dude. I just sat down on the train, and the dude tried to attack me. And this is near you know where Pershing Square is?
Yeah. Of course I do.
The Pershing Square? No, wait. What's that park where the lake and everything? West
Echo Park. Echo Park.
It's Westlake. No, I don't remember. You know where you're going down over there by it's downtown, and it's on
With the lake. Downtown with the lake. That's
With
Echo
that-
Park.
that's Echo Park.
Wait, with a lake? Ain't no lake downtown.
It is. It's Westlake.
Oh, you
I
know
think
what? You talking about over there by down by the juvenile detention center? Down by East Lake, by old USC hospital?
I don't know. No,
There's a lake over there, but yeah, as far as
it's like on 6th Street, and I'm trying to think it's a street that starts with an A. Alondra.
What about this lake?
Alameda.
What about this?
Oh, anyway, over there, that's where a lot of homeless people are. Like, it's a lot of homeless there. In fact, I think that's one day this black lady, she had beat up this old man, and everybody was mad at her for beating up the old man and whatever. But kind of find out the old man, he had mental problems. He was a Latino dude. He had mental problems, and he tried to snatch her baby, and that's why she beat him up. And so that's where I was. I was getting on the train around there, and that's why the man, he tried to attack me. I was so afraid for my life, man.
Yeah.
And then where I work at, it's like they got tents everywhere. And we can't even walk anymore to go get our lunch or anything, because these people are really mentally disturbed.
Well,
You know.
that's what I'm saying. You can't keep sweeping this under the rug. You know what I'm saying? Everything is boiling over right now. And that's why these people are, I mean, come on. We right there, at this point, we're talking about more than just a conviction. Yes, we need a conviction, but we need things.
More than one.
We
need
need
4.
We need economic. They talking about protection from the police, but we need economic protections to keep us from being on the street, keeping our kids. Look, you know what? If these were middle class people and they had everything they needed, you think they'd be out there running up in these stores for some goddamn Pampers and T-shirts and shoes? Hell nah.
Yes, they would, because they greedy.
No. They asked. Look, they interviewed a young brother. They said, "Man, why'd you do it? Why'd you run the store?" He's like, "I'm broke, but I like to tell people, you know, this ain't the way to do it. Don't do it like the way I did it. But I'm broke. You know what I mean? So I, you know,
Was he a black dude?
a black dude. He just kept it real. And you know, some people don't understand that. Like they're like, wow, like really, man, dude, you didn't need it that bad.
Yes,
please. How you gonna put yourself in this man's shoes? You know what I'm saying? And then they try and demonize it, making it seem like we really hurting something. What I was telling the other caller is that these places are not franchised. These are corporations with locations all across the country. They're not franchised by individual owners like McDonald's and Subway and things of that nature. They're not people in your community that own it. So the money has been going to the top for a long time. Go ahead.
Even franchise businesses, do you know how much it costs to buy into McDonald's franchise?
Look, a lot of it's already been monopolized. Now,
It
you know
costs
what?
$1 million.
Let me tell you something.
It costs $1 million just to buy a McDonald's franchise.
Mika, if you got a McDonald's in your family, are you gonna sell it?
I wouldn't have McDonald's in my family.
If you had a McDonald's in your family, and trust me, I would love to have a McDonald's in my family, would you sell it?
They're not actually. They're making what McDonald's is doing. They're making a lot of money on it because the franchise is $1 million buy-in.
Yes.
And then you have to pay annual fee for the district manager to come down there and train your employees every year. If the menu change or whatever, that's some more money you gotta pay.
It don't matter. It don't matter. You got look. I've been studying McDonald's since I was a kid. I mean, this ain't nothing but people just driving through and just dropping their money off straight up.
Right.
I mean, just bags of cash going out the back.
They banking.
They banking. So whatever little fees that McDonald's is asking for, hey, it's nothing. I remember the dude that had that nice house on Slauson got killed in Vegas. He owned like 5 McDonald's. I mean, it was a news article because he had that fly ass house that you could see when you're driving down Slauson towards Fox Hills Mall. So in between La Cienega and the mall, there's a big white house. It's 2-story, glass windows. And I remember reading the article. Dude got killed in Vegas. They put a black guy, and they put his business in the street. Oh well, he owned 5 McDonald's. So you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But nowadays, I mean, like, come on, how you gonna buy into something that's already bought? And that's the problem with the community right now. We need a whole restructuring of our community. Everything has been monopolized. These people that own these places, they don't care about how it looks to our kids that's walking down the street. It gets all dilapidated and shit, and they're not putting no money into it. But you go on the west side or down where you work. You say you work for the government, so I'm pretty sure that they're mandated the places around there to look a certain way, keep a certain aesthetic. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
keep upkeep.
Now it's hard because the homeless is down there. The homeless is down there, and everything. So it's like it's not how it's supposed to look.
Right.
Oh, you man, dang! This person keep calling me, and I was trying to touch on something else that you had said. Oh yeah.
Go ahead. Hey, I'm here. Ain't nobody calling in. So, look, do your thing. I'm here. I might be turning off. Look, it's already 10. Yeah, I might wrap this up. But see, my whole thing is.
Wrap it up. I was gonna say something else, though. I wanted to touch on something else that the guy has said. Oh my God. You guys was talking about imports and exports. That's what I want to say. America, we're a consumer. We're a consumer country. And China, they're the sellers. They sell to us, and we consume everything. We have to learn how to stop being a consumer country and start selling again. But the problem with that is all the factories have moved across the country. Across, overseas and everything. So we don't have any real manufacturers on this soil anymore. So that's what's causing us to be a consumer country, and we're not industrial anymore. We're button pushers now. We pushing paper. We push the buttons through paper. It's not too many manufacturing companies and stuff like that. So if we start manufacturing things and then we'll become export. We'll be able to do more exporting than importing.
But there is some concern with that because the previous caller said something about the 70s and how things changed. And if you go back to that time when America was manufactured, when people were working in the factories, able to buy a house, able to buy a car, able to take vacations, able to put their kids through school, working at the local factories, and then the factories closed, and then blight, people selling houses, people on drugs, kids in the street, not going to school. You know how things change. That's because you take the job, and I've been listening to documentaries on this for quite some time over the years about how they took the economic engines out of the communities, moved them to the suburbs. And you know, those are what are they called? Specialty jobs. When they have the new manufacturing, it's not the old manufacturing, meaning that you know, either doing IT, call centers, special training. You know, if you're an engineer, or one thing that I've been advocating is the way that things are taught in our schools, because these test scores are mandated by the state to be at a certain level, but you ain't telling us what the fuck we learning this for. What is this formula for? You never told me what this formula was for. You just told me to learn the formula. How do I apply this formula to put something together? How to build something? Why can't you just give me a model, a kit, a bunch of pieces, put it on my table, and say, today we're going to figure out how to build this, and these are the formulas we need. Oh, okay, that might stick. But you just telling me, okay, you got to pass the test, and you need to learn these algebraic equations. What the fuck for?
Yeah.
Look, man.
Yeah, that's what they did with the No Child Left Behind law that Bush enacted, and it really frustrated me, right? Because my children had to go to school throughout that act, and what was going on was they were worried about the speed that my children read, but not the comprehension. And that's what's wrong with a lot of us today when it comes to reading and understanding. Like, we know how to read, we know how to see these words, and we know when we see these words the sound that these words make. But do we really know what these words mean? You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Just like with math, like, okay, we know 2 + 2 = 4, but like you said, why do we need to know that 2 + 2 = 4? We don't have the comprehension. So now we're just a whole bunch of people that can see these phonetic representations of sound, and that we can see these numeric representations of numbers, right? But we don't understand what these things really represent.
Yeah.
And so it becomes frustrating, especially for me when I grew up in a time where comprehension was the most important thing. Mm-hmm. And then then you have these new age people, and you try to talk to them, and they'll get offended by what you're saying because they can't comprehend what you're saying or whatever. So that's where the mental health come in as well.
Hey, I want to thank you.
I'm done.
I'm gonna thank you for calling, man. I'm about to turn it. I want to hear what this brother in Memphis is actually saying. I got state to state footage going on in the background. This brother, he's sitting there. Hold on, let me turn it up.
Okay, brother, but I said my piece and keep up the good work. I'm sorry I couldn't come out today, but hopefully by next Monday, this stuff dies down.
No doubt. Thanks, man, for calling.
Bye.
Bye.
Everyone, hold on. Stay with us here. My squad's gonna hold the feed for me.
Man, we in Memphis, Tennessee. We are One News, Talk Radio, live streaming, Lamert Park, Crenshaw, Baldwin. Straight like that to the whole world. You know what I mean? We in this together because we are one. You got the number. Call in. Let me know what we doing next. What is on the agenda? How do we move forward? Hey, man, these people are not looting, right? This is leadership. Like, we going to stay down on this all night long. Say his name. This is democracy. But until we come together after this and put our issues together, figure out what we going to do together to move this thing forward, we going to be divided. But I'm here to tell you, we are one. Thanks for signing in. Hope you got something out of this. But this is really about participation. This ain't the Avery James show. This ain't just me having a show. This is about voicing your opinions so we can figure this out in this next – look, it's going to be November before you know it, and the election is going to be here. And I'm saying, are we going to do it that way? Or are we going to have gunplay? Nah, I'm playing. I don't want to say that, but the president already announced gunplay. So,
Is there a group of people?
I'm not even trying to encourage that because, you know what I mean, they strike us with these felonies and they take our weapons away. And you see why. You see why, because when it comes down to this, they don't want us to have nothing. But I can assure you there's ways to get munitions, but we can't outgun the government. Believe that. And we don't want to. We love our soldiers, and we love, you know what I'm saying, the people that are supposed to be protecting us because they are countrymen. You know what I mean? I buy into it, the whole thing, man. I'm American, man, straight up and down. But even all the faulty shit that we doing, I don't agree with. But you know what? My great-grandfather is from the field, man. You know what I mean? And that's about knowing who you are, where you come from, your family history. I got a stake in this shit. I helped build this shit. It's in my DNA. It's in my blood. American is you. So, you know what I'm saying? I want to see what's going to be best for us. But, you know, we need leadership, and we need to let them know exactly what it is that we want out of them and how we can get some economic justice. We do need these convictions. Believe that. We need these convictions, but what you are seeing on TV is a class war. It has been taken over by all the races. Not racist, races. And they all have a stake in this because the money is going straight to the top, and we ain't seeing none of that. And it's getting worse and worse, you know. So, look, what we going to do? We going to figure it out. I'm going to keep broadcasting. I'm telling you, call in, participate, take this number down, like, share, subscribe. We're doing this to the election. And even after the election, I'm going to buy a place in Leimert Park and start a real talk radio station because we need it. We need to be fed. We are one.